Before we start with AOE, the chair will entertain a motion to untable the agenda point elections. Tara.
Second.
Perfect. Any discussion on untabling the agenda point elections? Any objections? Seeing none, agenda point untabled. Election committees.
So, we're back. So, for Secretariat, we have Susanna Salvatori.
The chair will now entertain a motion to stand at ease for 5 minutes. Lisa. We're at ease. Discussion. Objection. We're at ease.
Jay, parabéns.
calling the GA back to order at 2:09 p.m. Brazil time. Welcome back. Our apologies for this quick intermezzo. Sometimes things go wrong, as you might have seen before. Election committee, do you want to?
Okay, so sadly we made a mistake. Since there cannot be more than 2 members of the same national MO be on Secretariat, and since we had 3 of Indonesia, we sadly had to excuse Mutia. So again, it's Eva, yay! So that's what we already did. And it's Eugene and Alejandra. Chairs of committee and networks. First off, we have Alumni Network. Equine Network. So there was 2 abstain, and Wilson got 45 out of 50, and I'm not going to pronounce his name, sorry, he got 5 out of 50. So the next chair is Skoka, Armando. One Health, Mariana. Susanna. And Wellness. Regional representative. So, we have Europe. Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, Americas, last but not least, Mina, Moana. So, next up. Are we all excited where we want to go? Okay, then let's see. So, first off, we have IVSA Colombia with 2 votes. And Indonesia. Congratulations, guys.
Alright then, as chair, I acknowledge all the previously mentioned people and places to be elected. The chair will now entertain a motion to stand at ease for 5 minutes. Allison?
Allison Brown, IVSA, Trinidad and Tobago, I so move.
Second.
Any discussion on standing at ease? Any objections? We're at ease. To include the regional rep for Asia voting results. These are them. Now you've seen them, and now it's done. Allison?
Allison Brown, IVSA, Trinidad and Tobago, point of information. Mohana is from India, from the region. She's in Asia.
She was mentioned in as I guess Algeria.
Yeah.
So any nomination for Nigeria?
Any nomination for?
I mean, there was only breakdown before.
I don't know her exactly, but India.
Why did she write that?
I mean, that's exactly right now, because
That's one of those schools, right?
yeah.
Thank you for your comment, Allison. Kristen?
Kristen Abraham, IVSA alumni. So that means that Mona can't be the representative of MENA. So what that means now, because we have nobody running for MENA, is that. Sorry, no. Okay, so what that means now is the current MENA representative is now an intermediate position, so he has to be another half year. Nina? Yes, now to be another half year representative until we have the symposium in Slovenia, where we open elections again for this position. So if you know someone who wants to run for this position, please tell them.
Learn.
Learn from Nata IVSA Exco. What information do we need to redo the vote for education lab? Because she was not included in the vote for education lab. So they
The chair will now entertain a motion to stand at ease for 10 minutes. Lisa. Any discussion on going on standing at ease? Any objection? We're at ease. I just want to apologize on behalf of the election committee, EXCO, and all of the officials for this. This is really not how it's Welcome back. Hopefully this is going to be the last one for elections and we can finally get it over with. All right, so we redid the voting. You've all voted. This is the results, now including Mohana, from India, not Algeria. Results are this. Afnish Ghana. That is it. Seeing that we've made it through all of G agenda onwards, we're at our last agenda point of the GA, which is any other business. Is there any other business? Daniel?
Daniel Lander, IVSA, Denmark. We need to find a new financial report auditor, because Tessa is an outgoing official and it's against the bylaws.
All right, thank you. So we were out of order before because Tessa, being an outgoing official, was not allowed to be nominated or elected for financial report auditor. So we are reopening nominations for financial report auditor. Anna?
Anna Friedrich, IVSA Germany. I would like to nominate Emily Wagner from IVSA Denmark for Financial Report Auditor.
Emily?
I accept.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, you are elected without a vote. Congratulations. Is there any other business? Anya?
Anna Skjuts, IVSA Exco. I would like to report on the executive sessions.
All right. You can come on up.
So, as you may know, all the executive sessions of EXCO has to be reported to the General Assembly. We had already reported at the beginning of the GA. However, I would like to report that during this event, we have held 3 more executive sessions with the current EXCO. Are there any questions?
Tessa van Rijn, IVSA Netherlands. I would like to know what the executive sessions were about.
Okay, I'm going to Skjuts, IVSA Exco. The topics of the 3 executive sessions are as follows. First was about the COVID-19 situation during the event and the COVID-19 protocol. Second was about financing of accommodation for IVSA partners due to the last-minute changes in Congress accommodations for delegates. And third one is about DED travel grant winner not fulfilling the grant requirements. That's it.
Any other questions for Anya on the executive sessions? Susanna?
Susanna Salvatori, Sirili, can you tell us more about the DED grant stuff, please?
I want to clarify that they're not, they can, but they're not obliged to, as chair.
Okay, I'll just tell in general the conditions of the DED travel grant were not fulfilled, and we took consequences to make sure they will be fulfilled in the future. That's all I can report now.
Ali?
Ali Kishwar, IVSA alumni from Kurdistan. I would like to suggest something for the social media page of every IVSA MO, right? MO and also regional basis. So
Out of order.
Out of order? I'm very sorry.
Sorry. We're still at the executive session, AOB point now. Once we finish this, I'll ask for any other business, and then you can discuss it, okay? But thank you for participating.
At least you heard my voice.
Of course, that made me happy. Are there any other points of discussion when it came to the executive sessions? No. Okay. Then thank you, Anya, for your update. Any other business? Ali, I think that's where we're most supposed to raise your hand, yes.
Adjourning, IVSA alumni from Kurdistan. It's me again. I need to stand up. I'm sorry. Sorry for not being professional. I would like to suggest that we make a network on Instagram or like on WhatsApp to connect every page of IVSA. So whenever we do something, we can like perform a marketing session for the countries and the other countries, because now every country is aware of the social media state or like the trends that is going on in an IVSA committee. So it's gonna shed light on every committee, and it's gonna like bring IVSA and the cultural differences to the other ones. So it's gonna be like an exposure for all of us, and it's gonna like help the organization grow better. Like we're gonna see Italy, we're gonna see Tunisia, we're gonna see Morocco, Kurdistan. So this is like, it's a growth in a slow form, but like it's growth after all. So I feel like it needs to be established. Like we should have a social media manager from each page, and they should have a WhatsApp group, and everyone should be supportive for the posts that they post, and also the events that they have for, let's say, a celebration of that country or a celebration of that IVSA committee.
All right, thank you very much for your suggestion. It wasn't a motion, just an idea. But still, I mean, technically you can scream whatever you want at me. All right, is there anyone else that wants to add something to that idea? If not, I would maybe ask EXCO to take this suggestion to Salsa, seeing that she's in quarantine right now, and see if she wants to continue with this idea further. All right, any other business? Tessa?
Tessa van Dijn, IVSA in the Netherlands. I have a question regarding several presentations about partner events and reimbursement. As far as I know, normally only one official attends events. If we have to pay for it ourselves, but there are several events to which more than one official.
Okay, you just pause for a second, yes.
You want me to start over again?
Please start over.
Tessa van Dijn, IVSA in the Netherlands. During presentations, I noticed that there were several partner events that more than one IVSA official was present at. And since normally only one official goes there when we pay for it ourselves, I was wondering who paid for the officials going to partner events when more than one official was present.
All right, thank you for your question. Anya Cicciewicz.
Unless huge, I would say EXCO. I will go with parliamentary inquiry if it's written in bylaws that we have to sponsor only one IVSA official going to partner events.
She wants to clarify it first. We'll do the parliamentary inquiry. All right, we will wait for Daniel to look this up. Oh, all right, I keep going while Daniel's looking it up. Is there any other discussion on this from someone that hasn't spoken yet? Then Anya?
Okay, and that's huge. I guess an EXCO meanwhile, I will respond to questions. So there were several partner events, as you have noticed, where more than one IVSA official have attended, and there were many different situations. In some cases, it was reimbursed from IVSA Central Fund, attendance of both officials. In some cases, those officials have received their own funding for that. In some cases, our partner have covered costs for example, one official, and the other was covered by central funds, so there were several different situations according to different events.
All right, thank you for that note. Is there any more discussion on multiple officials getting reimbursed for one event? Tessa?
Tessa van Duin, IVSA the Netherlands. Okay, since you like responding to the part that IVSA, that the central fund has paid for situations where more than one IVSA official went to a partner event. In that case, I would like to remind the GA that during this day we've also voted on the EXCO wanted to increase membership fees to further support IVSA. Yet, for me personally, if we send more than one person to an event and partially we pay for that from the central fund, I see that as a not necessary costs. So it was, let me fix that. I would like to remind the DA that EXCO wanted to further support IVSA, as they mentioned during that vote. Yet, as just discussed, in some cases, this extra money was the money that was used this year was to send more than one official to an event for which we paid as members. This is also the money of the organization in whole.
All right, thank you for that motion. Daniel?
Daniel Lund, IVSA Denmark. The bylaws do not state anywhere that only one official should go to events. It falls under the jurisdiction of the treasurer and budget keeping regarding how many people should go. Although the bylaws, whenever they mention traveling, also mentions minimum cost rate.
All right, thank you. Is there any more discussion on multiple officials attending the same event and reimbursements that come with it? Lisa?
Lisa Beer, IVSA Netherlands. I think in this point it's good to clarify to the J, maybe someone from EXCO can clarify that, because the point that Tessa previous speaker brought up was that in previous years, to lower the cost, if possible, only one official was sent, never multiple. So I am wondering what the argumentation was from EXCO to decide to send multiple officials, even if that meant spending money from the central fund additionally, instead of only having one sponsored.
Thank you. Anya?
Anna Tishkiewicz, IVSA EXCO, so responding to the question of the previous speaker. The reasoning for this was improving IVSA external relations, mainly due to the fact that we have the COVID-19 pandemic ongoing and we have not attended partner events for quite a while. Therefore, we decided that it would be better to have officials that are also involved in a specific rule that is related to that partner event to be present at the meeting. An example can be General Assembly of the Federation of Veterinarians of Europe, where me and Tessa were in attendance. Both we got the reimbursement. Regional representative for Europe is also a person responsible for cooperation with the FVE. Or, for example, President-elect Yuri was attending the EVE General Assembly to smoothly handover. We decided that it would be very beneficial to introduce Yuri to IVSA partners. So there were quite a few events where we decided that for the sake of IVSA external relations, it would be beneficial to send two officials to that event.
All right, thank you. Is there any other discussion on this topic? Susanna?
Susanna Salvatori, IVSA Italy. Since the parliamentarian said that it's up to the treasurer and to to choose whether to send one or two officials in order to spend the minimum. I want to know if we can ask the treasurer what they think about it.
You can't directly ask the treasurer, but if the treasurer is present and they want to respond, they are free to always take the floor. Anina?
Anina Wanakip, IVSA Exco. For that, we usually take the advice from president or the who they want to send us representatives, and then we evaluate if it is possible for them to go, like how many people, but it's usually just president or ERO, and then they can send another representative if they are not able, or they think another person is better for that role, for that event to be attending. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on this topic from someone that hasn't spoken yet? All right. Then I'll give the floor to Tessa, because Anya spoke later than Tessa did last time.
Tessa van Dijk, IVSA the Netherlands. Responding to that we want to send officials to events to further our PR. I want to inform the GA that I was not reimbursed for going to Verkava Congress. I have paid for it myself. I made sure that I got there myself. And the reasoning behind that was that there is a Verkava scholarship. I did not get that scholarship, which was open to Verkava, of course, to choose who they wanted to pick. And after that moment, this was in April. At that point, there was no money left for me to go to Prague, despite Netherlands to Prague being a relatively cheap travel, and also Prague being an enormously cheap city.
All right, noted. Thank you. Is there any other discussion on the reimbursement of officials? I'll have to give the floor to Gabriel, because he has not spoken yet.
Gabriel, IVSA Exco. I think it would be maybe important to clarify to the GA if IVSA officials have attended all the partner events, or if there's any partner events that IVSA officials did not attend. Because if we're sending 2 officials to one event and not sending anyone to a different event, that might be an issue. Thank you.
All right, I believe that is something that the executive committee can clarify, as I do not have the agenda of all the events in the entire world or their personal schedules. Is there any other discussion? Okay, then Anya can reply.
Anya Shkivch, IVSA Exco, replying to a question of a previous speaker. Well, the kind of events we are attending, we are deciding like at the beginning of the term. However, there are multiple partner events of different partners that IVSA could be present at, so it's a matter of prioritizing which events we decide to take up on a certain year. Like all the events that we have decided at the beginning of the term have been attended by IVSA officials. Second point, I would also just like to clarify the procedure that was brought up earlier, how we decided who is going to the partner events. It is written by us that it's up to President and Treasurer. However, anytime we had a second official attending a partner event, we took an EXCO vote on it, and with a majority of vote, it was approved, and then the second EXCO member was attending the event. So that was the standard procedure. Moreover, I just want to inform you all that it's also quite challenging to decide which officials should attend each partner event, because we have 7 different partner relations with different organizations. Therefore, at the beginning of the term, we developed a travel manual where would be suggestion on appointing IVSA official to different partner events. This travel manual has been approved by EXCO and by Trust at the beginning of the term. We tried to follow those guidelines. However, thank you very much for everybody's suggestion here during the GA. I believe they would be very beneficial to improve that travel manual, and the next executive committee can take it up from there, deciding on the attendance in the future.
Lisa?
Lisa Buren, IVSA Netherlands. I think procedure this time is clear. Just judging from partner presentations, I think because normally it's usually the president and Arrow that are prioritized, but we've had quite a few events this year with other positions, for example CC attending. So I was just wondering, did you notice this year, because it's basically the first year you did this, did you notice a difference in how you contact our partners was sending different people than, for example, the Arrow at the time as a position to events? Or it could be President Arrow, not President CC, for example.
Any other people that want to say anything on the subject matter? Lauren, is that a hand, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, then Lauren.
Lauren from IVSA Exco. So regarding the events I attended, for example the one in Abu Dhabi, it was very much appreciated by the partners that I was actually there to talk about the projects I'm responsible for and the funds are used for. I think we made big progress in improving those partnerships and also making sure that they will last also in the future. So also in the future, IVSA members can benefit from those.
Thank you for the clarification. Is there any further discussion on this subject? If not, I will open the floor to any other business. All right. If there is no any other business, the chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn this session of the General Assembly. Did you have any other business? No, you want to say it. Lurk, go ahead.
Then from the IVSA Exco, I so move.
Second. No. I know I forgot this a whole bunch, but I'm not going to forget it now. Is there any discussion on adjourning this session of the General Assembly? Are there any objections? No? Seeing none? Oh.
Yeah, I believe there was another point. At least someone said there was another point. Matthias, didn't you have another point? You have to get it now, but don't forget. You told me.
It's an objection.
There is an objection?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna have to vote.
Give me 1 second.
Is this yours?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's my running.
All right. I now know what to do. You know, not every situation is as clear to me. Sometimes the chair gets confused. So, I entertained a motion to adjourn the General Assembly. Lauren moved it for me. It was seconded. Then it was objected to. Since the motion was moved and then objected to, that means we're now going into a vote on adjourning the session of the General Assembly. The reason why there was an objection is because there's still someone here that wants to speak up during AOB but forgot. So it's up to you guys what you want to do. I think we're going to have to just do a roll call vote again since not everyone has their cards. Ellison?
Yeah. Ellison Brown, point of information, would it be okay to ask?
Stand up.
Ellison Brown, I will say to the point of information, would it be possible to ask?
If Matthias has his point to hand, or is he still looking up at the camera?
All right, so we're going to do a roll call vote on adjourning the session of the General Assembly. Are you guys ready to take those votes? So, how the vote's going to work, we'll do yes or no, because apparently yay and nay is too complicated for some of the people. Yes says adjourning this session of the General Assembly, which means we're no longer going to hear what Matthias wanted to say. No means we're not adjourning yet. And we're going to open the floor for the people again to bring things up in AOB. All right. Is that clear? You can also abstain, of course. I'm going to wait a second so they can figure out how to get these votes in. The chair will now entertain a motion to stand at ease for 5 minutes. Anna. Any discussion on standing at ease? Any objections? We're at ease.
Hey guys.
All right, so we're now voting on adjourning this session of the General Assembly. So, doing roll call, because you all can now keep track of your cards. If you're going to say yes, yes, that means we are adjourning. If you say no, no, that means we are not adjourning. And it means we will reopen the floor for AOB for people to say the things that they forgot to say. You can also abstain, you can also do a combination of yes or no. It'll be a roll call vote, so I'm going to now pass the microphone on to Nelson, and you just state the votes of your country.
IVSA Bosnia and Herzegovina.
No.
They don't vote.
IVSA Brazil. IVSA Colombia. IVSA Croatia. IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark. IVSA Egypt. IVSA France. IVSA Germany. IVSA Greece. IVSA Indonesia.
Yes and no.
IVSA Ireland.
No.
IVSA Italy.
No.
IVSA Peru. IVSA Philippines.
No.
IVSA Latvia. IVSA Mexico. IVSA Philippines.
No.
The chair will acknowledge Mexico and South Africa as present at this General Assembly. Morocco? That's what I said, right? Morocco and South Africa.
Is South Africa here?
South Africa's here. Otherwise, I would not have said it.
IVSA Morocco. IVSA Serbia. IVSA Peru. IVSA Philippines. IVSA Serbia.
Yes.
IVSA Slovenia.
To abstain.
IVSA South Africa. IVSA South Korea.
No.
IVSA Switzerland.
No and yes.
IVSA Taiwan.
No.
IVSA the Netherlands.
No.
IVSA Trinidad and Tobago. IVSA Tunisia. IVSA Uganda.
Yes, no.
IVSA UK. IVSA USA.
Please give us a second to count the votes. You still need to be quiet, please. All right, the results are counted. We have 5 in favor, 51 against, and 2 abstains, which means the motion is denied. We're not adjourning the session of the General Assembly. I am kind of happy about it, because usually it's like a whole thing about everyone wanting to be the ISO move, and now having to adjourn with a vote would be kind of sad. Also, happy because that means we get to let the people speak, and that's what we're here for, so thank you for sacrificing your free time for actually entertaining IVSA discussions. That means a lot to me. All right. Is there any other business?
Hands up.
Matthias Gründer, IVSA Adjourning. Sorry for the terrible confusion. I was confused. I wanted to just bring up during the whole Congress, it was a little bit strange for me that people of the trust took a lot of work on the backs, which should usually has been done from EXCO members. So I wanted to hear the opinion of other delegates and EXCO and also the trust that have been affected.
Blue card. I don't have the card.
You want a summary?
Yeah.
From the chair? Or
Yeah, from the chair.
I can summarize. Matthias mentioned that during this event he saw that Trust was very active, and that during past events he attended, he noticed that usually it's EXCO that takes on a lot of the work, and he was wondering about the views of other delegates, whether or not they noticed the same thing and their thoughts upon it, and also the view of EXCO. Is there any other discussion on this? Anya? Oh, Christina?
Christina Canano, IVSA Netherlands. Regarding the previous comment, I wanted to say that I have noticed the same thing about Trust, them taking on so much work, them not having any sleep at all at night because of the workloads that they had. So this is just me making a comment that, yeah, I noticed the same thing.
All right, noted. Any other discussion on this? Anya?
And then security IVSA EXCO, from my side, I can only say a big thank you to Trust for supporting us with this event. I can say that it has been a challenge for all of us, especially given the fact that it's the first IVSA event in 2.5 years. Given the fact that also during the live event we usually have an MOD that is taking care of the communication with the OC team, which is a really big task. Obviously Gabriel was very busy organizing the committee as a OC president, so it would have been a double challenge for him to have both of these roles in the same time. Therefore, again, big thank you for Trust for supporting him in this role. And yeah, thank you so much. And also apologies from my side on behalf of EXCO that the workload was bigger than we had expected.
Any other discussion? I see hands. Tessa, or Tessa first?
Tessa van Dijnen, IVSA Netherlands. Regarding a comment made by the previous speaker, I want to say that as part of the MOD team, I have several times told the MOD that I would love to take over some tasks and help them with the workload, that I've not been taken up on that during this event, despite that we talked about it beforehand, that I should help with some tasks.
Noted. Any other comments? Gabriel?
Gabriel, IVSA EXCO, so as one of the previous speakers said, it's been a challenge, as most of you know, and on behalf of the MOD team, I want to apologize because exactly it's usually the MOD and the MOD team that takes care of supporting the organizing committees. But it was a double challenge, as one of the previous speakers said. And also, both as MOD and as president of the OC, I would like to thank the Trust for all the support, because it was really important for us in order to have a good event, and also take into consideration our lack of experience on IVSA live events.
Lisa?
Lisa Burger, IVSA Netherlands. I also want to add a comment to this point as chair of the Alumni Network. Namely that I've had one of my alumni members coming to me during this event. This was her first IVSA event because due to COVID she could not be able to attend. And she told me that she was basically very angry with the way things had gone, and she would never recommend any of her colleagues or fellow alumni to join an event like this. So I think this is very concerning for IVSA, and we should definitely think about how we can improve this in the future.
All right, thank you very much for saying that. Kristen.
Kristen Abraham, IVSA alumni. I would like to add to Trust that we had also Lisa doing amazing work, and I would like to acknowledge that the GA also acknowledged her work, because it was not only Trust that worked her asses off, also Lisa doing an amazing job.
All right, thank you very much for adding that, Kirsten. Is there any more discussion on this topic? Tessa?
Tessa van Dijk, IVSA Netherlands. I have a general question why this is the first moment that I hear of Trust and Lisa being thanked, and not during the 10 days that we've been here and during other speeches that have been given, only now that people are being called out on them doing a shitload of stuff.
I, as chair, am unable to answer that question. So if someone in this room feels responsible for answering it, they are free to lift their hands. If not, they know. Is there any other discussion on this agenda point? Or what agenda point, any other business point? Gabriel?
Gabriel IVSA Exco. I think it's one of my responsibilities to apologize for anyone that didn't feel welcome or good enough during the event. I think one of the previous speakers just mentioned one of those cases. So as MOD and as OC, I would like to apologize for any and every one of you that might have not felt as welcomed as you should, or as happy as you should, or as well as you should. I think it's our obligation as OC to take care of you and to make this event as good for you as we can. And for that, I'm really sorry. I apologize for any misunderstandings, for any lack of communication, for any part of the event that was less than what you wanted. So for that, I apologize.
Okay, thank you, Gabriel. Is there any other discussion on this subject matter? Christina?
Christina Canano, IVSA Netherlands. I would like to make a point regarding the quarantine period that some of us have experienced, that we also noticed some problems during that period. Some moments that were maybe not as nice as they could have been. For example, bringing us water, which took hours sometimes. Also the fact that for most days that I've been in quarantine, can't speak for other people, that we only got a couple of sandwiches to survive the whole day on. So, of course, we can't change anything now, but maybe that could be a learning moment.
All right, thank you, Christina. Is there any other discussion? Kirsten?
Personally, I'm IVSA alumni. I just wanted to add to the previous speaker mentioned that one of the alumni made a comment about the event. So I want to emphasize on that because we are currently really struggling with the alumni events, and since we are all working very hard, we actually take time off for this event, and we sacrifice our very little free time we already have. So I would really, really like for any previous events that's changing, that we take care also of our alumni.
All right, thank you, Kirsten. Is there any other discussion on this? Daniel?
Daniel Lund, IVSA Denmark. For all the new delegates out there that I'm standing with my back to, because that's what we're supposed to do, I'd like to point out that you can really feel that we've been gone from live events for multiple years. And that is a major part of why there has been more confusion and more delays, because everyone forgets what they're supposed to do when there's been 2 years of absence. Usually, IVSA events go much more smoothly than this one has, and there are multiple factors as to why it hasn't exactly gone smooth all the time, but usually they are, and I hope that you guys will not discourage other members or be yourself discouraged from joining an IVSA event again, because you guys are what makes this association so great. We need all of you in order to have these events.
Thank you, Daniel, for that positive note. Is there any other discussion on this? Lisa?
Lisa Brewer, IVSA Netherlands. So maybe just to clarify from my point of view, receiving these comments, for example, from this one member, was the reason why for me to kind of step on my game, because I felt things were going wrong, horribly wrong, during the event, and that I had to do something to make sure that things were arranged and that people could still join the event as they should in other events previously. So that was the reason why I put in so much work.
All right, thank you. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, I'm closing this point for AOB. Then I'm opening the floor for any other business. Tessa?
Tessa van Dijk, IVSA Netherlands. I just thought regarding the point I earlier discussed, I was wondering at what point do we get to see the financial report of the past EXCO term and when we get to approve or not approve that. So maybe it's parliamentary inquiry.
Daniel?
Daniel Lund, IVSA Denmark. The financial report is always presented at symposium following the term and approved.
Hopefully. So, yeah, just to clarify, the financial report for this term is going to be presented at the symposium after it's also been audited by the financial report auditors. And the treasurer is going to be presented by the post-treasurer. Is there any other business? If you guys think I'm still counting the others, I'm not at this point. All right. Now it'll be exciting. Okay. The chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn this session of the General Assembly. Vonda. All right, any discussion on adjourning this session of the General Assembly? Any objections? Please no, not again. All right, seeing none, this session of the General Assembly is adjourned. if I can quickly say something, this was my first time chairing, so obviously I'm sorry if I made some mistakes. I tried to keep it as fun for you guys as well. I did my best, and I want to thank all of you for participating as much as you did. I know in the beginning it was hard, especially with so many of you being new delegates and being confused during GA, especially with me sometimes also being confused. But you guys really stepped up your game during, as far as we progressed our GAs, and I saw so many of you guys speak up, and it made me so happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I know I did. All right, so I would like to have a few more words at the end of this General Assembly. First of all, thank you, Merlin, for chairing this General Assembly for us. And one more time, one big thank you for everyone who made this event possible, to all the IVSA officials, trusts, and other officials that were very helpful during this event, to the organizing committee that did their best to make things work for us, and to every single IVSA member present here for your active participation during this General Assembly. Thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you in Slovenia.
As Vice President, I would quickly want to thank Anja for being an awesome team leader this term. It was very challenging at some points, but I think she did an awesome job, so thank you very much.
I'm so proud of you guys for just sitting down. Usually you try to run away from us. Are there any announcements?
Hey guys, it's me again. So, right now we have a 20 minutes break. At 4, we should be back here at this room to do the closing ceremony, okay? So again, 20 minutes break, go have water, go to the bathroom, and be back here by 4. I think Lisa has a question.